زينا جيما كان تخيس يعقد أنا بيزم وشكيرة لاتنا إتباشوا ما تسلم حيقوش لا تيعمل أخي برقخ عينوش.
In July of 1996, L'Ève Montejudy, a French magazine, proposed for me to go to Chechnya and do a story on the unsettled peace in Chechnya. And I was quite happy to do this story because I really wanted to go back to Chechnya to see what had happened, what was going on. And I arrived in Chechnya and I met a journalist named Stephen Augerlet, and I met a good friend of mine named Heidi Bredner, who I'd known during the Nagorno-Karabakh War and who I'd known in Moscow and also known in Chechnya. And so the three of us decided to hook up and go for a ride in the mountains, and I was trying to get an understanding about the Sharia, Islam. Hopefully Stephen wanted to do an interview with Messiah. We drove up into, we heard rumors that they were in Intim-Calais, so we drove into Intim-Calais and we were sort of captured by the Chechens and taken to a place, and kind of a kangaroo court was being held to decide what was to be done with us. And our bodyguard, our protector, and possibly our executioner came into the room, and there was this girl named Asya, and she had a Kalashnikov with us. And at first she was quite hesitant, and then she, as Heidi could speak Russian, Stefan could speak Russian, we started to have dialogue and communication, and then I started to take pictures of her, and so she sort of warmed up a little bit. And meanwhile, she tried to explain that they were having a discussion because they wanted to know why we were there. We couldn't understand why they were so nervous and upset. We'd been covering the Chechens for a while now. And she said, well, you know, we're having this big meeting, and there's a lot of commanders here, and so they're very concerned because every time journalists come, something happens here. So they're very, very upset that you're here. And she would come back, and her face would be grave, and she'd have this dark look around her eyes, and say, oh, it's not good. You know, some want to kill you, some want to let you go, some want to keep you for money. It's not good. And we started to feel that it wasn't good either. And then she came, yes, you're my friends, and I like you, you're nice people, but if I'm ordered to kill you, then I have to, and you have to prepare yourself for that. And then she explained how she killed some Russian soldiers. And we then became very nervous. And evidently what I heard, fighters were arguing that we couldn't be trusted, we should be killed, and others were arguing that we should be kidnapped and ransomed. One of the fighters jumped into her face, sort of, and upset her, and she sort of pushed him away and told him that, you know, if she was ordered to shoot us, she would shoot us, but that she didn't see shooting us as a justification. You know, have proof of something, but don't just shoot us. And finally, after much debate and discussion, they decided not to shoot us, and then it was up to, do we ransom them? And then it was decided, no, we're not going to ransom them, and then do we keep them and so that they can't tell anyone? And I said, well, they haven't really seen anything. So Asya finally came back and said we were all free to go, and as we were going out the door, we saw all these commanders, and we realized there must have been some kind of meeting. And I was processing the film, making contact sheets, and all of a sudden I heard that there had been this huge attack, siege in Grozny, how the Chechens had stormed the Russian positions and taken the city of Grozny. And I realized that they must have been planning this attack in Intim-Calais, and that's why they were so nervous about our visit. And so I promptly told my agency and Libération and anyone that would listen that I wanted to go back to Chechnya to cover this new conflict, and I could get myself into Grozny, even though I didn't know how I was going to do it. It was my plan to go there. And within 7 to 10 days from coming back from Chechnya, I was back in Chechnya again. They were quite suspicious of why I wanted to see. I said, no, I wanted to give her these pictures that I took, and I want to continue the story. And I said, no. But I jumped ahead. So consequently, I made it back to Chechnya. I made it to the front line with the fighters, and consequently, I was able to photograph Jamil Basayev, who I actually met for the first time officially. And that was that.
سنتيام بينا الله يهوب على حوق أخوتنا بالله بوسكر تحدوز لدوتوش سناخ حبي زربي تبوخوش سقوال مقيتش وانت بوتا ليخوش بالله بوسكر تحدوز لدوتوش سناخ حبي زربي تبوخوش سقوال مقيتش وانت بوتا ليخوش تاخنا السقوط تمحي زبي قوال ما دايخل حل خدا خبي شيراج عغيل قيما خيل لا ويعضغط يزام يوبيخنا خدينارك خرسي شواني سخوانا سنيق عامينارك حسوة سدعي والله أسليرا بارغت يزام يوبيخنا خدينار خرسي شواني سخوانا سنيق عامينار حسوة سدعي والله